Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Apostle Alfred Uyinosa, the man wey dey talk am as e be, don drop message for some senior pastors. He say altar of God no be the place wey dey for the crack joke. Some senior pastor don turn am to place wey dey for the crack joke. Make I leave you, make you for hear from Apostle Alfred, the message wey e bring come for pastors.
Hello guys, good morning, happy Sunday. How was your night? And how is your family? I trust God say everything did very, very okay. Yes, my name is Streamer Apostle Alfred Odion Oyinosa. The man with the talk and the do and the show am as it be. I hope we drop this message this morning as the word just they come up again. The altar of God is not for stand-up comedian. The altar of God no be the altar where they crack joke. Today, most of our senior pastors don't turn the altar of God into a comedy center. Remember, Jesus Christ said that my house shall be called the house of prayer, not the house of comedy. And some of these comedians, one of the break come the altar to defy the altar, they lie in the name of cracky joke. They lied in the name of cracky joke. The same comedian, one of the break come altar, now them, they go, they sing, they crack joke for club. They use and they rob what they're not supposed to rob. The same persons, when they bring them come altar to crack joke. What? To crack joke on the altar of God? The altar of God is a sacred place. The church supposed to be a refiner center, not a comedy center. I am not against comedy. If you want laugh, go one corner, go laugh. If you want crack joke, you want make comedy, you want bring comedy, a comedy and make on crack joke. Go one corner, go event center, go do stand-up comedy. Let people go there, let member go there and laugh, not on the altar of God. To the extent this comedian, they begin to talk down on the things of God, polluting the altar of God. People now come to laugh and go home. The altar of God is so sacred that a lot of our senior pastors have defied the altar of God in the name of comedy. If you want to relax, oh, you want to unwind with your members, why not go to event center? Go to event center. Organize any program where you want to organize. Make una laugh, crack joke, but not on the altar of God. No more fear for God. Jesus Christ said, my house is a house shall be called a house of prayer, not for merchandise. You remember that Jesus, when he entered the temple, they were buying and selling. Buying and selling has become the order of the day in the church of God as of today. Jesus carried cane. He whipped them. He flogged them. He chased them out of the church. Say, for my church shall be called the house of prayer. He carried cane to flog them. Say, it is not for merchandise. Say, not the business center. But today, most pastors have turned the altar of God into a business center. Cracking joke. Bringing different comedians to the altar to crack joke. They crack joke with the Bible. They crack joke with the name of the pastor. Sorry, they are wasting their time. They crack joke on the altar of God. The church of God has become a comedy center. The altar of God has become a stand-up comedian for church. No. No. That is not the true gospel. The altar of God is so sacred. But today it has been defied in the name of bringing comedian. They come to church, they crack up joke on the altar. No wonder there is no more power. People supposed to come to church and have a encounter with the Lord. What we need now is revival, that God should wake up the church. But we are cracking joke on the altar. Have you been to a mosque where they crack joke? Mm-mm. The church supposed to be a place for learning and to have a encounter with the Lord, be refined, then go back home. But what do we see today? Comedy on the altar. They lie in the name of cracking joke. They lie in the name of cracking joke. So this senior pastor has turned the church of God into a merchandise center that people no longer have a encounter with the Lord. People now come to church to feel good. I feel good. People now come to feel good. What cannot happen in a mosque or in a shrine? We now import them to the church. So tell you, see all these kids and this small thing, when they laugh, Jesus, what kind of nonsense is that? Can you shout Allah Akbar like that? And our people see nothing wrong with it. And our people see nothing wrong with it. The altar of God is becoming so cold. No more fire on the altar. The heart of the people no longer prick them. Well, because of business center. We have turned the church into a business center. No more serious-minded. It is time for the church to wake up. Wake up! The church is sleeping. We are raising 419 in the church. We are raising prostitute in the church. Their heart no longer prick them to know God. Jesus Christ said, "For my house shall be called a house of prayer." They don't want me to preach this message this morning. I go preach them. They don't want me to preach this message. I go preach and they must hear. You now see so many big pastors now inviting all kind of comedian to the church on the altar to crack joke. And they lies because they are cracking. You see them lying because they are cracking joke. They tell lies because they are cracking joke. No more fire on the altar of God. We're supposed to be crying for revival. What we now see is merchandise on the altar. Remember when Jesus came to the temple, met the people selling, he carried cane and began to whip them. He flogged them. He whipped them. He said, "No, my house is not for business center." We have automatically turned the church into a merchandise center where we buy and selling. Buying and selling. Buying and selling. Holiness message, righteousness message has been watered down. Some of the pastors who rise by prayer, because they don't have money, they now tell you it is no longer by prayer. It is not by fasting. Run from that pastor. Run. Jesus Christ said, "For my house shall be called the house of prayer, the house of the word, where people come and have a encounter with the Lord." But today, we have turned the altar into a comedy center. We invite all kind of comedians to crack joke on the altar of God. We go laugh, on serious Christians. No wonder the word no longer take us serious anymore, because we not crack joke. Oh God. The altar of God is not for stand-up comedian. The altar of God is not for stand-up comedian. The same people you invite to crack joke, they are the same people who is doing Dorime in different club. No more encounter with the Lord. I see Jesus bringing Cain to begin to weep. So Jesus Christ in the command beginning to flog all of una for turning the altar into a stand-up comedian. I am not against comedy or cracky joke. If you want, that they waste their time. This message must be preached. So, it's so painful that they have turned the altar of God into a comedy center where people now come to crack joke on the altar. Remember that Jesus carried Cain, entered the temple, he flogged them. Say, for my house is not a house for merchandise. Today, merchandise has become the order of the day in our churches. I'm not there against comedy. Organize your comedy, go to an event center, go and carry your comedy and go crack joke, but not on the altar of God. Some of the things we try today in church can never happen in mosque. Can never happen in a mosque. It can never happen in a mosque or in any shrine. No wonder the heart of the people no longer prick them to know God. While we are growing up, we want to know God more. But today, people want to know, people want to serve the pastor, people want to become rich at all costs. Why? Because of the kind of wicked message that we preached. Who has bewitched this generation? Who has bewitched this generation? The same comedian I want to invite come church. The same comedian I want to invite come church. Now then they shout Dorimi for club. Now that they dance with all kind of nonsense for club. The same persons, now that they bring come altar. The altar is a sacred place. And you guys have succeeded in defiling the altar of God. You guys have succeeded in defiling the altar of God. You see this comedian, they lie in the name of cracking joke, and pastors and members go they laugh. You are laughing. Now they clap hand. Shame. Jesus Christ is angry. God is not happy. If you want unwind, you want laugh with your members, make una go event center. Go to an event center. Go and organize your program there and laugh. Not the altar. No wonder there's no more fire on the altar. No wonder that brother cannot steal our equipment. No wonder prostitutes to church will go back home remain the same. And brother will come to church, they will go back home the way they are. Curtis will come to church, they go back home the way they are. You know what? Because there is no more encounter, no more fire on the altar, no more thus said the Lord. What we hear today is comedy on the altar, cracky joke on the altar. This message must be preached today. Network or no network, and I must hear this message. Say no to comedy on the altar. The altar of God is not for stand-up comedian. No. The altar of God is not for stand-up comedian. All kind of nonsense going on in the church. Merchandise have returned back to the church. People no longer take the things of God serious anymore because of joke they crack every day on the altar. No more fire. No more power. You know why? Because merchandise have been imported into the church. Buying and selling, marketing, business strategy. We import them into the church. No wonder we keep saying the Muslims are ahead of us. You know why? They don't play with their altar. Have you seen any shrine man carry comedy come their shrine? Comedian or carry comedian come their shrine, make come crack joke? When you make joke of your altar, you become a joker. When you crack joke on your altar, you the chief priest, you become a joker. Because every word you say, it will no longer make sense to the people. Because you have to automatically turn it into a joker center. As I talk now, some people will say apostle don't start. But Jesus Christ is coming with Cain. Go begin to flog all of you now, one after the other. Say no to stand-up comedian on the altar. The altar of God is not for stand-up comedian. It's not. The altar of God is not for stand-up comedian. What a shame. You may have a gift. You may have your gift. Take your gift to your club or to event center, not on the altar of God. That's the reason why people no longer take the things of God serious. Why? Because they now come, because they now see the church as a merchandise center, as a business center, where people come to buy and sell, but not to have a encounter with the Lord. That's the reason why brother will come to church, they will return back home the way they are. Cultists will come, 419 will come to church, they will return back home the way they are. Prostitute will come to church, they will return back home the way they are. You know why? Because the altar is already polluted. Because we have turned the altar of God into a cracking joke center, where people come to crack joke on the altar, and they crack joke with the things of God. They crack joke with the things of God. They no longer take the things of God serious anymore. The church is supposed to be a place of encounter, where people come to meet with divinity, where people come to be refined. But today it has become a place where people come and return back home worse. No more seriousness in the things of God because of joke. I am not against comedy. I am not against your gift. Pastor, I'm not against your gift. If you want to laugh, you want to unwind, go to club. Or go to event center, carry your member, and go there, go to crack joke. Certainly not on the altar. See, when I see them, they bring all these comedians to come to the sacred altar of God to crack joke. Right from Genesis to Revelation, I don't see where Apostle Paul and read bring comedian to the altar, to the holies of holies, to crack joke in the earth. Shit. All through the Old Testament and New Testament, I don't see where they bring a comedian to come to the holies of holies to crack joke. The altar of God is the place of the holies of holies, where people come to hear from God and say, "Thus says the Lord." But what do we hear today? Comedy, liars. All these guys, when I say that they crack joke, they lie. And people remember lie, the world is becoming worldly. The church is becoming worldly, and the world is becoming churchy. End time. End time. End time pastors. End time members. Perilous time, perilous people. The Bible says perilous times shall come, men shall be lovers of themselves. That is the time we are now. Men, pastors, members are becoming lovers of themselves, so proud, disobedient to the things of God. That is the time we are now. Perilous time, perilous people. People who no longer think about what God is saying. People who no longer bother about the things of God. But yet, you are bringing comedian to church to crack joke. They are cracking joke. They crack joke with Bible. They crack joke with God. They crack joke with everything. And you are saying you want to. The pastor say, "Oh, it's one of the strategy to bring members to church." It is not comedian that bring people to church. It is not a. So painful. Sorry, the network didn't stop. Sorry. They organize so many laughing this thing. They call it strategy for soul winning. Oh, you have to bring a comedian. You have to bring comedian to church. Strategy for soul winning. That is not a strategy for soul winning. That is strategy for demonization. To demonize the people. What bring people to the church is revival, not comedy. Not comedian, not cracky joke. If cracky joke, if bringing comedian will make people to come to church, that will say your church has automatically become a business center, a merchandise center. Oh, you want people to fool my church? I want people to come to church. They now bring you one comedian to crack joke. You now put the name of the comedian. Oh, so person is coming to church. Then everybody will not troop you to the church because you want to raise more offering. Shameless people. Shameless people. I am not afraid of any of you. Because God now begin to flog all of you now. If your strategy for soul winning is to bring comedian to the altar to crack joke, you are a failure. You are a failure. You have failed. What brings people to Christ is revival. Our soul is supposed to pant after righteousness and after God, not cracking joke. On serious pastors, on serious members, like members. Every day we keep praying and asking God for what to do, but yet some of you keep bringing in comedian. Have you seen any mosque where they invite comedian to come and crack joke in a mosque? You don't see any native doctor when you go carry comedy control, make the comedy control, make the joke. It is not possible, because when you crack joke with the gods, you become useless. So when you crack joke with the teaching of God, you become useless. You become useless. Today, people no longer come to church to say, yeah, I like that pastor, I like the way they crack joke. People now come to church because the pastor crack joke where. They no longer come to church because the pastor has the word. Oh, they are inviting so comedian. People go fool the church. But when they say there's only going to be 3 days revival, you will not see members. Now church are doing so, man. Yes, people voice. Now church are your day so. This is the gospel. Now church are your day so. I'm preaching. You forget to be apostle. Now they preach the gospel now. I'm preaching the gospel now. Every day is my church. I'm preaching the gospel. This is the true gospel. Not be together. Today, people no longer seek after righteousness. People no longer seek after holiness. People no longer seek to know God more. But they now seek to laugh. You want to crack joke, crack, you are laughing. You say they'll begin to crack, use the pastor till they crack joke. The pastor will laugh. They're going to use him, the wife till they crack joke. The wife will laugh. They're going to use choir until they crack joke. You will laugh. And they bring liars to the church to crack joke in the name of comedy. They bring liars. They send people where they go see invite to go shrine. They send people they go invite go club. They send people now see bring come church to crack joke on the altar. Who have done this to us? Who have done this to us? The church is supposed to be a place of rescue, not for cracking joke. The church is supposed to be a place of rescue, where people come and be rescued, where people come and have an encounter with the Lord and be rescued. But today that become a merchandise center, where people now come to feel good. I feel good. I know I wanna, so good. People now come to feel good because there's no more power. Comedy pastor. Some of them are not telling you, oh, it is not by prayer now. It is not by fasting, it is by strategy. You are a failure. Now prayer and I carry you, we reach where you day. Where you were not in the ministry, you were praying. You took time to fast. Now that God has settled you, you are now preaching against what lifts you up. You are a failure. You are a failure. If because you need member in church, you go organize comedy, you go organize program to bring comedy and culture to go joke, you are a failure. You have failed your calling. All through the Bible, and not see where Jesus Christ used strategy to bring the people to the fold, but bringing in Shriner to come and conjure the altar. Today, we will now begin to experience 419 on the altar. Don't say anything. They say comedian when they bring concrete joke. Now them see they go club, they do kind of nonsense. Good me go see them for night. Go see them for night. Sorry, they don't want me to talk. They don't want me to preach this message this morning. They don't want me to preach this message this morning. If network don't allow me, I go preach again in the evening. If network don't allow me today, I go preach again in the evening. Back to the altar. The altar has been polluted. The altar of God is not for stand-up comedian. The altar of God is not for stand-up comedian. But today, not all convert to stand-up comedian. Where people now come to crack joke on the altar. Crack joke on the altar. Lie, crack joke with the Bible. Crack joke with Jesus. All of them that are doing skit, and it's more Jesus. They now take the name of Jesus for granted. What a shame. What a shame. See all of them, they do skit. And it's like, Jesus, what the hell? Can you shout to Bonnie like that? Can you shout Muhammad like that? They don't behead you. Because we have deviated from the teaching of God. The Bible says in the days of his power, men shall be willing. The reason why men are no longer willing to know God is because there is no more power on the altar. We have converted the altar to a comedy center. We have converted the altar into a comedy center. So there is no more power to heal, no more power to save, no more power to deliver. You know why? Because the altar has been turned into a comedy center. So when you turn the altar into a comedy center, it becomes a business center. It becomes a place where people come to feel good and not to know God. This is where we are today. People are no longer serious with the things of God. If organizing a strategic conference to bring in comedians and you want people to come to your church, you have failed. As a pastor, you have failed. It is not comedy that brings people to the church. It is revival. It is revival. It is revival. Revival. All we should be doing is that God should revive the church. The church needs to cry out for revival now. Revival. Or else, I pity this next generation. The cloth where some person who feel wear go walk, none of the wear come church now. Sister now wear pants to church. But yet they cannot wear it to their office. People now dress naked to the church, but they cannot dress naked to the place of to the. Yeah, sorry, the network is not friendly this morning. The network is not friendly this morning because they're not sending a heart message. So that's why they. Guys, because of network, I'll continue from here later in the day. We must get it right. If you are going to church because they want to bring one comedian, come and crack joke, you have failed. You don't know God. We're supposed to be serious Christians. If you want to unwind, go one event center, carry the comedian, come and go crack joke for there.
Now we don't hear from Apostle Alfred Uyinosa. Let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things where they happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video, make you help us share them. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.